Welcome back. For over 4 decades, Piyush Pandey told India's stories with iconic advertisements and jingles that will echo through the hearts of millions of Indians. The legendary advertiser's passing away has sent ripples through not just the industry but countless of people who found themselves in the director's works. A Padma Shri and Leah Legend awardee, tributes continue to pour in for one of India's greatest creative minds. Ogilvy, the agency Piyush Pandey built, led, and loved, has now also found a way to pay the legend a memorable tribute. The ad agency took out a full page tribute today titled The Most Difficult Ad of Our Lives, paying an emotional tribute to its executive chairman and chief creative officer, South Asia. The last rites of the ad man who changed how India viewed advertising as an industry are currently underway in Mumbai as people and industry legends gather to pay their last respects. Veteran actor and legend Amitabh Bachchan has also arrived at his residence to pay his tributes. Let's in fact listen in to what some of Piyush Pandey's colleagues have had to say on this sad occasion. All right. So John,
ये सुनकर बहुत दुख हुआ कि पीयूष पांडे जी हमारे बीच नहीं है। पीयूष पांडे जी को मैं बहुत याद करता हूं और याद करता रहूंगा, क्योंकि जब मैं छोटे शहरों से दिल्ली बम्बई आया और मुझे ऐसा समझ में आया कि एडवर्टाइजिंग विज्ञापन ये भी एक करियर ऑप्शन हो सकता है, तो हम लोगों के मन में काफ़ी अलग धारणा होती थी इस प्रोफेशन के बारे में। और जब मैं पीयूष पांडे जी से मिला तो मुझे पता लगा कि पीयूष ने मुझे एक अलग तरह की दुनिया मेरे सामने वो लेकर आए कि ये प्रोफेशन जो है ये उन लोगों को ढूंढ रहा है जो अपनी जड़ों से जुड़े हों, अपनी भाषा जानते हों। तो ये पीयूष पांडे जी का बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन मेरे जीवन में रहा कि उन्होंने मुझे इस विज्ञापन के जगत से मिलवाया। आज
all right, so you can see on your screens over there that in fact leading people from the industry are currently in Mumbai. They are paying their last respects to the ad man. Senior editor Uday Pratap Singh is joining us on this broadcast to help us through this entire solemn event that is currently underway. Uday, we are seeing visuals where leaders from the industry are coming in to pay their respects to the stalwart.
Well, absolutely. It is, of course, a complete sense of gloom that has descended upon Mumbai, the city where, of course, Piyush Pandey had made his home after moving there, of course, from Jaipur, which was his hometown, but not just in Mumbai, of course, throughout the country, Shivani, because Piyush Pandey, of course, was a legend in advertising, someone who, of course, had spent 4 decades in the company Ogilvy. How often does one see someone join a company as an executive, a client servicing executive, which he joined, and did his first ad, of course, which was to do with a detergent, and then spent 40 years in the company, rising to executive chairman India and also, chief creative officer worldwide, rising to a position where he would, not just, of course, mentor the greats in the future greats in India, but also mentor some of the world's creative advertising minds, at Berlin and numerous other cities across the world. Today, of course, Amitabh Bachchan, Abhishek Bachchan, Manoj Pava, these are some of the actors and people who've, of course, worked with Piyush Pandey over the years, who've reached there to pay their last respects to him. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, of course, also, condoled his demise yesterday. We saw how Member of Parliament of the Congress, Shashi Tharoor, also condoled his demise. Interestingly, the two studied together at St. Stephen's College in Delhi. Piyush Pandey, of course, was bestowed the Padma Shri Award as well for his work, for his stellar contribution to the advertising industry. And interestingly, there's this whole talk about Swadeshi movement in India and Make in India movement as well these days. Well, Piyush Pandey actually can be credited, Shivani, with being the one who actually pushed Indian advertising towards indigenous advertising, Indian techniques and ads which were rooted in India rather than just mere copies of Western ones or mere, takes on Western ads. From, of course, his iconic Fevicol ads to the Feviquick ad, to, of course, Ponds, to, Cadbury, of course, also political ads as well, let's not forget, for the BJP as well, in 2014, Ab Ki Baar, Modi Sarkar, also at Achhe Din as well. The Gujarat tourism ad, very famous ad as well, was also helmed by Piyush Pandey. Interestingly, the Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, that iconic song, of course, from the 80s, which had so many stars featured in it, that was written by Piyush Pandey as well. Interestingly, Amul has paid tribute to him in Amul fashion with their own ad as well. And they've actually talked about the Sur Milane Wala, Vyakti, who of course is no more. He was such a creative individual. I remember personally as well. In fact, in my school in Dehradun, in my final year at class 12, Piyush Pandey was the chief guest for our founders celebrations. Every year there would be a speech where someone would come, of course, a chief guest, from Mr. Bachchan to Abdul Kalam, former president, to Dr. Karan Singh, and they would give a speech. But when Piyush Pandey came as our chief guest, he actually gave a speech along with a presentation as well. That was his creativity, bringing his own flair towards even an occasion like a speech. He put up a screen there in the middle of the main field at our school and showcased his ads and talked about his creativity. So that was the creative man that he was. He's of course been remembered by his sister, the famous singer Ila Arun, and filmmaker Prasoon Pandey. They were all siblings from Jaipur who of course have made their mark. And everyone, of course, is remembering Piyush Pandey and speaking, of course, about his legacy. And one just hopes that legacy will continue to inspire more and more young, creative advertising minds in our country.
Absolutely. India has certainly lost a gem. Thank you so much, Uday, for joining us on this broadcast.